Isaiah Thomas and Ahmad Rashad, Bob Costas in Chicago. A look at the lineups. Keith Van Horn back in for New Jersey. Missing most of game one with a stomach virus and strep throat. You saw the rest of the starting fives for each team. New Jersey with the tip, trailing the series by a game after taking the Bulls to overtime on Friday night in game one. Coming from 14 down in the fourth quarter to do it. In fact, the game was still tied in the last minute of overtime. Here's Van Horn, guarded by Kukoc. Shot of the game spins out. Were it not for the presence of Tim Duncan, Van Horn would have been a cinch this year as the league's Rookie of the Year. Jordan wastes no time wasting his first shot.
But Jordan recognized a mismatch very early that Sherman Douglas was guarding him, took him right down to the post. The double team came late, and he was able to put it right in the basket.
Bob, I would expect Chicago to really try to come out here early with their defense and knock this New Jersey team back on their heels. This New Jersey team got a lot of confidence the other night, even in the overtime loss. And as Isaiah said, Michael recognizes the mismatch and buries the little 8-foot fadeaway.
Here's what Michael did in game one. Played 47 of the 53 minutes. Scored 39. Did not shoot well from the field, 11 of 27, but got himself to the free throw line 23 times. As you saw, both the shot clock and the game clock above one of the baskets has gone psychedelic. Which leads us to Ahmad Rashad, appropriately enough. Go, Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. The health report on the New Jersey Nets is Keith Van Horn, who was very sick on Friday, told me before the game today he feels very well. He's okay, ready to play. Chris Gatlin has a touch of that very same virus. He said he really feels under the weather, but he's available to play. Now, Sam Cassell has a badly pulled groin. He was uncertain whether or not he would play. I think the plan for him is to ride an exercise bike in the tunnel to stay warm, and if they need him, he would be available. Bob?
Thanks, Ahmad. In fact, what John Calipari told us earlier today is that if the game is close, midway through the fourth quarter, he'd bring Cassell in at that point and say, Sam, win the game for us.
Yeah, I talked to Cassell before the game. He said he probably wouldn't start riding that exercise bike until halftime because he didn't want to burn himself out in the first and second quarter riding the bike.
The clock is still malfunctioning, but we'll go ahead. Sherman Douglas, the veteran point guard, finds Kittles, who swings it out to Gill, and Kendall Gill is off with it, and Kukoc has it.
I thought Kittles should have taken that shot, passed up a shot to get a tougher shot for Gill.
Harper misses, loose ball out of bounds to Chicago. You wonder if Kittles is a bit gun-shy after shooting 3 for 17 in game one. If he has anything like his normal shooting night, the Nets pull the upset. Rodman looking for the cutters. It's Kukoc from 20. The Bulls open with a 4-0 lead. Van Horn over Kukoc.
Now, that's a matchup that New Jersey would try to exploit Van Horn on Kukoc. Kukoc doesn't have the foot speed that Van Horn has. Will try to put it on the floor and go around him or pull up and shoot the J.
Jordan with Kittles on him, doesn't get the bounce. Rebound Van Horn. During the regular season, the Bulls swept all 4 games against the Nets. Then they won the opener of this series. Kittles with 2 seconds to shoot. Fires it long, out of bounds to Chicago.
Those are the shots you don't want to have to take against Chicago. Beating the shot clock, Bob, as you had said, 3 for 17 in game one. You start out the game, you pass up a good one, then have to take those kind of shots. That's where your confidence starts to wane.
You know, Doug, from coaching Michael Jordan, when he's guarding you, he really shuts you down. Not only do you have to worry about him offensively, but he takes your best scorer and he shuts him down as he did with Kerry Kittles.
Jordan had the double pump and misses.
New Jersey's philosophy is to try to keep the pressure on. They are second in the league in field goal attempts, so they shoot a low percentage, but they get a lot of shots. They do not want to get into a half-court game.
Sherman Douglas from behind the Williams screen, but there's an offensive rebound for Williams, who led the league in that category, second overall in rebounding to Dennis Rodman.
And New Jersey led the league in offensive rebounding.
Kendall Gill spins around Jordan and scores.
Now, Kendall Gill playing against Michael Jordan, he grew up idolizing Michael Jordan. Jordan used to spend a lot of time working with him in the summer, so he relishes the challenge of playing against him in the playoffs.
The adrenaline has to be pumping for Gill. He's on Jordan here, who goes right to the basket on him, trying to answer what Gill did to him at the other end, and he draws the foul. But when we speak of Kendall Gill, he's a Chicago native, went to the University of Illinois. This is quite a stage for him at the United Center.
Well, you see Kendall Gill with the power going to the basket, and the one thing you have to be able to do is you have to be able to go at Michael and Scottie, make them guard on both ends. You see Michael with the answer and getting to the free throw line, and Michael's the kind of player, as you know, Isaiah, that if his jump shot is not falling, he'll find other ways to score. If you take the last game of the regular season, he shot 24 free throws against New York the other night, 23, so 47 free throw attempts. When that jumper's not falling, he will find ways to get his team points.
He's such a smart offensive player. You know, he's struggling right now with his shooting because he has a big bump on his index finger. His index finger is swollen up, and that's why he's having problems shooting the basketball. So understanding that, he's taking the ball to the basket and going to the foul line.
But at his age, if he has to do that throughout the playoffs, won't the wear and tear eventually take a toll? Pippen rebounds Douglas's miss. Loose ball in front of us, and Pippen recovers it.
Eventually, he will start to wear down. However, Jordan is such a great athlete, you never worry about him, but you worry about players 5 through 12.
I started to say you might worry about Rodman taking that shot, but when it goes, you say, okay.
Well, with all the distractions and everything that's going on in the Chicago organization, you never worry about the big three, Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan. However, the effect that it will have on the rest of the team, the bench players and the role players, that's what Phil Jackson is very concerned with. Will they be able to supply them with the energy and the emotion?
Rodman picked up his first. In fairness, though, don't you sometimes have to worry about where Rodman is emotionally and mentally? I mean, even Phil Jackson said after game one, he's not playoff ready. Van Horn.
Well, Keith Van Horn is a terrific offensive player. He can post, he can take you out, he can play small forward, power forward. You saw the post up and the left-handed power jam over the smaller player.
Here is Kukoc floating through the lane and missing. Rodman battling for the rebound. He had only 8 rebounds in game one to 21 for Jayson Williams of the Nets.
The deep post position on Ron Harper, you see how he gets him underneath the basket, so deep that no help can get there in time. And Keith Van Horn, the leading scorer on this team, and the guy they will go to in the clutch if Sam Cassell does not play.
The thing I love about Keith Van Horn is he's so smart. He read the mismatch. He had a smaller player, took him underneath.
Pippen with a little jump hook. And Kerry Kittles comes out of the pack with the ball. A moment ago, the foul was on Kendall Gill, his second. The Nets look to tie with a basket here. Van Horn, baseline, way short. Harper bothered by back spasms of late. Gets it back from Pippen. Swings it to Kukoc, who overshot it. Rodman on the offensive glass. Good feed to Kukoc, and a foul. Before the shots are taken, we'll step away. Just the start of things in Chicago.
Your old heating and cooling system is costing you money. Our preseason air conditioner sale is going on now. Get a free in-home estimate plus same-day installation of a new Lennox air conditioner from $24.95. Furnace and AC combos from $36.95. And receive 0% interest financing for 5 years. Plus, we'll beat any competitor's estimate by up to $500. Call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
For Hyundai and its dealers, the health and safety of our local communities have always come first. And right now, we're all safer at home. But should you need a vehicle, we have options to shop online. and a participating dealer will deliver it right to you. And to ease the financial strain, you'll make no payments for 4 months. Together, we can create a safer, better car buying experience.
Get 0% APR for up to 84 months on the 2020 Tucson or Elantra and make no payments for 4 months. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
The My Teams app is the #1 pick for all your Bears draft coverage. Stream shows with former monsters of the Midway. Listen to the Under Center podcast and read articles from insiders. The choice is easy. Download the My Teams app now. Southside Legends are back on NBC Sports Chicago.
Yeah, put it on the board. Yeah.
Relive wins from the 2005 season with White Sox Rewind. Every day at 4 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Springtime in Chicago means playoff time at the United Center. In their 5 championship seasons dating back to 1991, the Bulls have never lost a first-round game. 15-0, and in fact, they only lost 1 in one of the years when they didn't make it all the way to the finals in 1995, right after Michael returned from baseball. So they're 22-1 in the first round since 1991. And they have the ball here as play resumes. Unconventional looking shot.
Lucius Harris has checked into the game, replacing Kendall Gill. And again, you must keep the pressure on Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Regardless of who's in the game for New Jersey, they must continue to make those guys play both ends of the floor.
Lucius Harris is number 12, a veteran from Long Beach State. Why the substitution at this point, Coach? Kerry Kittles has to leave. That's a different matter. A little bit of blood on his hand, and as you know, it's a league rule. And Sam Cassell, who we were told would not play unless the game was on the line in the fourth quarter, peels off the warm-ups.
But Sam Cassell is a competitor, and I knew it would be very difficult for him to stay out of this basketball game.
Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Bob, I talked to the Nets trainer, Teddy Arzonico, and he told me that if Sam had his druthers, no matter how bad that groin was, of riding that back or playing, he'd much rather play.
Well, if you got to expend some energy, might as well do it on the court, as Rodman did there. Douglas missed, Rodman rebounded, and tumbled out of bounds. Let me answer my own question from a moment ago. Gill goes out following the timeout because he picked up 2 quick fouls.
Now, see, Sam Cassell actually can play 2 guard, and Sherm Douglas can be your point guard. He's really their leading scorer, so I'm not so sure he's not most effective off the ball playing as a shooting guard.
Van Horn missing in the lane. Pippen comes loping back. Pull-up 3. Rodman with the tip that rattles out.
This is a different Rodman in Game 1. I think he is taking this challenge personally today with Jayson Williams. He apologized to Phil Jackson after the game. He said, I'll be better on Sunday.
So far he has been. Cassell misfires on his first attempt. Pippen weaving through traffic. But the bank was closed on that one. Jordan on Cassell, who runs him into a Williams screen and misses the jump shot. Low-scoring first period to this point. Jordan, the catch and shoot. And the line drive rebound out to Cassell, who races back the other way. Just Harris misses, but Pippen fouled him. You can go online to msnbcsports.com for complete NBA playoff coverage. Bill Walton analyzes how Michael Jordan ranks against other NBA greats in 5 important categories. And you can vote for the team you think will win the NBA title. All at msnbcsports.com.
Bob, it's sort of amazing that when you look at the score 8-6 right now, that New Jersey is in the game, but both Chicago and New Jersey shooting poorly. 3 for 14 for Jersey, 3 for 15 for Chicago. So both teams have gotten off to very cold starts.
Cassell quickly out. Chris Gatling off the bench. He scored 24 in Game 1, speaking of Gatling. And Sherman Douglas is also back in.
I think the depth factor definitely goes to New Jersey. You can already see John Calipari has gone to his bench. Lucius Harris is in the game. Chris Gatling in the game. We saw Sam Cassell for a few moments. I think you're going to see John Calipari try to keep fresh guys at Chicago the entire game to keep the pace of this game up.
We've played more than 6 minutes, and the score is tied at 8. The Nets during the regular season were the highest scoring team in the league, averaging 99 a game. Jordan lost it, and the Bulls touched it last. Michael hit his first shot, cold since then. With Dickie Simpkins leaning on him. Forces one in the crowd and connects.
Well, the other night, Gatlin really gave them problems on the low post. They came late with the double team, but Gatlin was able to split the double team and score.
Jordan off the feed for his second field goal.
When you're playing Michael Jordan away from the basketball, you can never let body contact get to where he can reverse you. You've got to push him out. That time he reversed him for the alley-oop.
Now, the reason why Dennis Rodman had trouble rebounding the other night because he was matched up against Gatling, which left Jayson Williams free to roam on the board.
Lucius Harris misses from just inside the three-point arc. Rodman clears it. Jordan into the lane. Double pumps but misses. Kittles has it for New Jersey. Promptly loses it, and Jordan is fouled as Harris reached in. Let's go back to the Pippen alley-oop from Michael.
Great vision there by Scottie Pippen and great eye contact, but if you watch Michael Jordan without the ball, he will reverse. It looks like he's going to use the screen by Rodman, and Kerry Kittles did not get his body on him. You must get your body on Michael and give him a little bump. You cannot give him that kind of room to roam. He's too smart. He will find the open areas.
Jordan back to the line where he's been spending plenty of time of late. We mentioned this earlier. The last couple of games, he's been to the free throw line 47 times. Shot under 50% in both of those games, well under in game one of this series, but topped 40 points in one of those games and had 39 in the other.
Let's see if John Calipari tries to get Kerry Kittles off against Scott Burrell.
It squirts away from Van Horn, but Kittles picks it up. Gatling. Rodman tips the rebound to Pippen.
Jordan has a mismatch with Sherman Douglas guarding him. Let's see if they recognize it.
Nice pass from Rodman to Scottie.
See, that's the thing that they love about Rodman, being in the post, playing the center position. Phil Jackson loves having Rodman in the post because he's such a great passer. He feels that Rodman is a better passer than Luke Longley in the post.
Timeout, New Jersey. The Bulls lead it 14-10.
I know we are facing a very tough moment with the spread of the coronavirus.
A big shout out to all the doctors, nurses, medical staff, and others who are working so hard to keep us safe.
Let's do our best to help them out.
Please pay attention to what the health experts are advising, from good healthy habits to social distancing.
Also, if you're passing information to others, make sure it's correct.
Let's be there for each other, and let's work together as one team.
I'll see you later, okay.
So Dr. Pui is the best of the leukemia doctors at St. Jude. We very quickly found out how much he loves his patients. One of our first visits with Dr. Pui, and he was kind of running through the protocol and naming off all the medications. And he said, but don't worry, you don't pay that, St. Jude pays that. Just to think, like, and what if they didn't?
For Premier League mornings on NBCSN.
Something special happening here.
Join us all weekend for a look back at the Premier League's greatest moments. Game-changing goals. Pressure-filled rivalries. Unforgettable plays. And title-clinching performances.
Staggering!
Premier League mornings all weekend on NBCSN.
Fundamentals, practice, teamwork. The ball goes into post. You'll see right here. Now watch the footwork. Dennis Rodman is going to inside reverse pivot, screen Gatling, and Scottie's going to make his cut. And then Dennis is going to give him the over-the-top pass. Watch with the bump right there. Jayson Williams helps for a moment. Then Scottie gets free. That's It's a lot of games together, a lot of practice and reading defense. And Dennis Rodman, as Isaiah said, is an excellent passer.
He's also, when I played with him, Doug, he was one of the most fundamentally sound players that I ever played with. And Phil Jackson told me the other day that Dennis doesn't get enough credit for his intelligence on the offensive end of the court.
Kerry Kittles with a 3. The Nets did not hit one in the entire game on Friday night. They were 0 for 6.
And more importantly, Kerry Kittles needed that. Bobby was sitting on a 3 for 17, 0 for 2 in this game.
A 14-13 Chicago lead. Here's Steve Kerr just in after the last timeout. To Jordan. Bumps off Kittles. Up top, Burrell for a 3. Fighting for the rebound, Rodman and Kittles, and Dennis touched it last, but it's been a good first quarter for Dennis. He had his first shot from the field. He had the great feed to Pippen, and he has 6 first-quarter rebounds.
Phil Jackson would love to see some energy and bench production. He now has gone to his bench. He is going to need them for the long run. Here come playoffs.
Gatlin driving on Rodman. Dennis can't control it. Tumbles right into the lap of a photographer and simply wishes him a pleasant day.
How about the hustle of Dennis Rodman? He goes out there every rebound with 2 hands. It slips and he dives for the rebound, giving up his body. You got to love playing with a guy like that because he gives you second chance opportunities, and he also gives you the hustle defensively that you need.
All right, now the chess game has begun. Ronnie Cycli comes in. Phil Jackson covered with Bill Winnington. All right, Winnington, an excellent shooter. Cycli, a low post player. Let's see if the Bulls double team in the block when he gets the ball.
Simpkins on Gatling, who is not shy about putting it up, and in this case missing. Rebound to Jordan. Burrell slicing through 2 defenders but missing on the run. Winnington on his 35th birthday rebounds, feeds Jordan, who banks it in.
New Jersey not rebounding the ball. Now they're the best offensive rebounding team in the league, but they're the second worst defensive rebounding team in the league. You cannot give the Bulls multiple shots.
Cycli, nice move.
But see, Phil Jackson knows that Cycli can hurt them. I talked to him earlier in the year about the first-round playoffs, and he said Cycli is a guy that has hurt us in the past. We might have to double-team him.
He can especially hurt them in the absence of Luke Longley. Burrell, just inside the line, throws up a true brick, way off the mark.
See, that was a tough shot. You have a defender running at you. That's a simple pump fake. Improve your position for a better shot.
Gatling, the fadeaway. Air ball, and Burrell takes it.
It's a very poor shot by Chris Gatling. A little selfish on that play.
Jordan, all the way. Can't finish it. Burrell.
You see Jordan really trying to get to the basket, trying to get to the free throw line. They're pushing at every opportunity that they possibly can. Jordan understanding that that finger is very sore, can't get the type of pressure that he wants on his index finger, so he's trying to get to the foul line every opportunity he can.
And a whistle away from the ball. Back to the last play.
The thing that has sustained Chicago with their poor shooting has been the fact they've gotten 6 offensive rebounds in this first period after only 8 in game 1. There it is, Scott Burrell with the follow-up. And again, Bob, if you're going to play good initial defense, you must come up with the ball.
Foul on Winnington was his first. Cycli goes back to work on him. Loses the ball, some contact, but no whistle. His specialty, and there's why.
And John Calipari is very upset. Steve Kerr has hurt them all season long. His season high early in the season was 21 against this New Jersey team. Does not want to give him open shots.
Bulls by 6, the quarter's biggest lead. Douglas into the lane. Contact on a foul with 4.2 seconds left. Later on Dateline, Jerry Springer is the subject. His side of the story, whatever that may be. Dateline tonight on NBC. Sherman Douglas will shoot 2. Bill Wennington, celebrating his 35th birthday today, is the only true center who Phil Jackson has at his disposal tonight. Luke Longley is on the playoff roster. There's an outside chance he could play in this series. There's Luke. But their hope is he's simply around once they advance as expected past New Jersey.
See, this is where I think Chicago is very vulnerable and very weak. As they go into the latter rounds of the playoffs, you're going to need big people. And when you look at their front line, once you get past Longley and Rodman, they really have small players. And that will hurt them as we get further and deeper into the playoffs.
Jordan catches the Rodman fling, but couldn't quite get off a legitimate shot as he juggled it in the lane, complaining that he was fouled. Michael with nearly half of the Bulls' first quarter output. They lead it by 4 after 1.
These are uncertain times, but we at First Midwest Bank remain strong, remain committed to our clients, to our communities. And we want those who are uncertain in these uncertain times to know that even though we currently all need to stay apart, we are all in this together. First Midwest Bank.
For over 80 years, Nissan has been with you through thick and thin. And now is no different. We're offering payment options for current owners. Our service departments are here to help. And now we're offering more help. No payments for 3 months, plus we'll cover your payments for up to 2 additional months. Or get 0% financing for up to 84 months on 13 models. This is help when you need it.
The My Teams app is the #1 pick for all your Bears draft coverage. Stream shows with former monsters of the Midway. Listen to the Under Center podcast and read articles from insiders. The choice is easy. Download the My Teams app now. Don't miss Sports Talk Live from home.
I believe that they are absolutely going to have an open competition. This is not guaranteed to be Nick Foles' job.
Weeknights at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago and streaming on the My Teams app.
Well, the Bulls are capitalizing on the poor defensive rebounding of New Jersey. They have 7 offensive rebounds after only 8 in the entire first game. And what it's done is protected them against their poor shooting. They're only shooting 31%. New Jersey only 27%. But the multiple shots, they got 26 shots at the basket as opposed to only 22 by the New Jersey Nets.
Second quarter begins with Jordan on the bench. Kerr brings it out of the backcourt against Sam Cassell. John Calipari quickly ditching his plan to use Cassell only in the fourth quarter if they need it. Burrell was fouled by Harris or possibly Cassell. They had him surrounded, and it's Sam who picks up the foul.
Now, with Cassell playing with this groin injury, he's going to be severely hampered. He's not going to be able to get to the basket the way he normally does. And defensively, he's going to be a liability. If I was Chicago, I would go at him every single time down court.
Wennington, exceptional range for a center. He'll take it if you give it to him.
Well, also what happens, Ronnie Cycley's not going to go out there and guard him. We saw that a few weeks ago with Elijah-Wan, and Wennington stepped out and hit about 5 open Jays. So you got to get out and recognize this guy's not a post-up player.
With Longley sidelined by the deep bone bruise on his left knee, Wennington becomes more important, at least for the time being. Kittles, who hit a 3 earlier, has this one spin out, but Van Horn is there to clean things up. It took 2 tries, but he stuck with it.
You gotta love Keith Van Horn. He's so old school. He still wears the high white socks, wears the short shorts. He believes in the old school mentality, and that also is why he works so hard. He has a very good work ethic underneath the glass.
Wennington again. This one's way off.
You know, Isaiah, what I think is really unique also about Keith Van Horn, it took 1 practice for him to have the complete admiration and respect of his team. Normally, it takes a rookie a lot longer than in this league to get that kind of respect.
Cassell from the foul line whistle before the shot, no basket. And Sam is called for the offensive foul.
You know, Jayson Williams told us earlier today in watching Showtime that the only reason that he would stay in New Jersey is because of the respect that he has for Keith Van Horn.
Well, he said immediately, as soon as Van Horn joined the team, Pippen hitting on the move. As soon as he saw Van Horn, Williams immediately said, this is the best player I've ever played with. He said veterans won't want to hear it, but he's the best all-around player we have. Cycli hits.
Ronnie Cycli can score. He can score. He's done it his entire career. And the Bulls are going to have to do a good job of swarming and make him give that ball up. He does not like to be double-teamed. He'll turn the ball over.
Pippen spinning and drawing the foul. Clock stops with 9:54 to play in the half. We'll be right back.
Southside Legends are back on NBC Sports Chicago. Put it on the board. PTS. Relive wins from the 2005 season with White Sox Rewind. Every day at 4 on NBC Sports Chicago.
People will always come and go in our lives, but we all know those few who never left. The partners who've always had you covered. That friend you consider the best, because that's how they make you feel. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we know what it means to be there, guiding you toward a healthier state of mind. Because the more we know as individuals, the healthier we all feel as a community. Through it all.
Back at the United Center, 532nd consecutive sellout for the Bulls between the old Chicago Stadium and this building. In truth, though, the atmosphere here tonight is not jumping. We've seen it a lot livelier for regular season games. There's a feeling with the Bulls gunning for championship number 6. Wennington short. New Jersey with it. Cassell picking it up. But this is just kind of a tune-up. Yesterday, we were at Market Square Arena. Indiana up 1-0 in their first-round series against the Cavaliers. And the place was much louder. That's the difference between hopes and expectations. New Jersey with the turnover. Burrell back for Chicago. Jordan still getting a breather. Wennington dropped. The reverse slam. How about that?
That's the type of productivity that Phil Jackson is looking for from his bench. The other night, the bench only scored 7 points. And he wants them to come out and be active and aggressive.
Van Horn can't hit it on the run. Rodman brings it back the other way. In Game 1, New Jersey's bench outscored Chicago's 31-7. Kerr banks it home.
Well, this is a really shot in the arm for the Chicago Bulls. Their bench much livelier today, much more aggressive, looking for their shots. And New Jersey's going to have to call timeout and talk about it.
Bench scoring already. Chicago 11, New Jersey 6. And an 8-point lead right now, the game's biggest, at 29-21.
Bill Wennington has hit an open jump shot, so you close out on him, and then he beats you on the drive. Ronnie Cycli runs at him, and Bill Wennington takes the ball by him for the slam dunk, and then Steve Kerr, something you don't normally see, Isaiah, beating you off the dribble. He feels very confident against this New Jersey team. The little leaping leaner off the glass. And Michael Jordan looked at his teammates and said, guys, I'm going to need some help. Thank you very much.
Well, with Michael on the bench, they've doubled their lead from 4 to 8. If you're John Calipari, you say to yourself, well, as long as Michael is getting a breather, maybe now is the time when we can pick up some points. It hasn't happened that way.
You know, with Cassell's injury, you would never see Steve Kerr take him off the dribble. However, understanding that Cassell is having a very difficult time moving, Steve Kerr puts it on the floor, takes it to the basket, and banks it right off the glass.
Well, if Sam Cassell is not going to give you some points, And he's going to hurt you defensively. As a coach, you got to start thinking, is he going to be a liability for us today? Now, I know Sam is an excellent player, but he's also got to put some points on the board, at least neutralize the guy that he's playing against.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Calipari before the game, he told us that he was worried about Sherman Douglas because he didn't think he would be able to go 48 minutes, and they don't have an adequate backup at the point guard position.
The turnovers really killed the Nets in game one. And they give it away here on this trip down the floor. Pippen backing in on Kittles with the hook.
Scottie Pippen at 6'8" with those long arms. When he posts in there and he spins out that little jump hook, very, very difficult to get to, even if you try to double team him.
Chicago's lead is 10. Kittles cuts it to 7 with his second 3 of the half. Kukoc bounces it to Kerry, who's short with it. Rebound to Harris. Stay right here. He may have fouled Rodman in the rebounding battle. This is the third game of an NBC triple header, but it's a quadruple header for basketball fans because tonight at 9 Eastern time on TNT, game 2 of the Timberwolves and the Sonics. Seattle won game 1 easily at Key Arena.
And Vin Baker had a big first playoff game. A lot of questions about how would Vin Baker respond to the playoff pressure. 25 points in his first playoff game, so I'm sure the Seattle fans were excited about that.
The foul was charged to Jayson Williams, his first. Kukoc. Count the basket plus the foul.
Now, Kukoc is exceptionally good in the low post. He's a much better low post player than he is on the perimeter. In Europe, he played a lot in the low post. He gives Van Horn a fake, spins right off of him, and uses his left hand to lay it in.
Toni Kukoc, when you play him, you must be physical with him. You must bang him. You must bump him around. He does not like that kind of contact. He is a finesse player, and if you're going to let him get that kind of position, he'll throw up a big number against you.
While Michael Jordan sat out the first 4.5 minutes of this second quarter, the Bulls increased their lead. They're up by 9 now. Douglas and Rodman knocked it out of bounds. Will we see Cassell again, Zeke, and should we see him again?
I think you'll see him again only in spurts. Calipari wants to play him only in spurts, and that's just to rest Sherman Douglas. He doesn't think that Sherman Douglas can go 48 minutes. He doesn't believe he has that type of stamina.
And Kendall Gill asked for a timeout rather than risk the 5-second call. 7:04 to play in the half. Back to Chicago in a moment.
As a family-owned business, American Sail is saddened by the coronavirus situation. But we're inspired by how people have come together and enjoyed their time at home. Our quality products have been bringing the fun home for over 60 years. And to help people enjoy this time, they're offering 0% financing for up to 60 months and get fast 1-week delivery on swing sets, trampolines, pools, hot tubs, and more. So call us, we're here, or visit us online, and we'll help you make this time a little easier and more fun.
Nets have it with 9 seconds to shoot. They trail it by 9. Still have having trouble getting it in. Finally to Van Horn. Into the lane, left hand, no. And Rodman another rebound.
Keith Van Horn has had a lot of good shots in there, just has not been able to convert.
9 first-half rebounds for Dennis Rodman. Kukoc with daylight. It's short. Pippen chases it to the backcourt. Does it all himself in that sequence.
New Jersey's defensive rebounding really is the key right now, or their lack thereof. The Bulls are really cleaning up on the offensive board, sort of getting a taste of the medicine they tasted from New Jersey the other night with Jayson Williams getting 11 offensive rebounds.
Chicago by 11. Kendall Gill makes it 9. Pippen from Kukoc. Slings it back outside to Kerr. Kukoc on the move. And a New Jersey foul. It'll be Van Horn's third.
The thing you have to be careful of with Van Horn, he hasn't practiced in the last week because he had a stomach virus. And Coach Calipari is really concerned about his stamina and conditioning. He picked up his third foul right now. He has to sit down. And that's because when you get tired, you start to reach and you don't really move your feet as effective.
One of the areas of concern for the Chicago Bulls, free throw shooting the other night, 24 for 39. They only shot 61%. And Michael and Scottie missed 6 each in that particular game. And we've talked so much about how come playoff time that free throw line really comes into play late in games.
Chicago's 4 for 7 at the stripe today. All the misses belonging to Kukoc, who missed 2 there. Gill from 20. Fouled as he released it. A moment ago, we saw Keith Van Horn on the bench. He's always rather pale, but he was so sick on Friday night, his coach John Calipari said, I looked at him in the second quarter, and he was transparent. What's on NBC tonight after all the basketball, you ask? Well, it's Merlin. Sam Neill, Isabella Rossellini, Miranda Richardson, Martin Short, Helena Bonham Carter. The world premiere of Merlin tonight on NBC. The Magic not in the playoffs, but Magic tonight nonetheless on NBC. Desperately in search of a segue, we plunge forward. Chicago's lead down to 7. Pippen can't take it back to double figures, but Kukoc is there for the follow.
That's 9 offensive rebounds. We've only played about a quarter and a half.
Douglas with Kerr on him. To Gill into 3 defenders, and he loses it. Chicago with numbers. Jordan back all the way himself, stripped of the ball. Douglas finally controls it.
New Jersey needs to be extremely careful here, and they need to get a score because Chicago is really trying to put them away before the half is out. They want to go in with a 10, 12, 14-point lead.
Jayson Williams from Sherman Douglas.
It's a big basket for the Nets right here.
Back to within 7. Coming up to 4.5 minutes to play until halftime. And Chicago asks for time. The Bulls 37. The Nets 30. Back to the United Center after this.
This is our home. We've never seen it look quite like this.
But there's no mistaking it.
And it's our job to protect it.
Because the best people to fight for our communities
are those within them.
So if you've just bought a Volkswagen or were thinking of buying sometime soon, we're here to help with the community-driven promise.
Did you know that basement seepage can lower the price of your home? In fact, you're required to disclose it when you put your home on the market. U.S. Waterproofing will work with you and your real estate agent to resolve any seepage issue. We're a family-owned business right here in Chicagoland. We know how important it is to protect the value of your home. Schedule your free consultation today at uswaterproofing.com. U.S. Waterproofing. A better basement starts with us.
Get ready for the NFL Draft with former monsters of the Midway. Join Alex Brown, Olin Kreutz, Dave Wanstead, and host Lawrence Holmes for On the Clock NFL Draft Preview. Wednesday at 6 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Relive the greatest athletes.
History in Beijing for Michael Phelps.
Shining on the world's brightest stage.
Winning by daylight.
Olympic Games Week. All week on NBCSN.
Doug, as Hubie Brown might say, okay, you're John Calipari. You're only losing by 7 despite the fact that there's 3 fouls on Van Horn. You're shooting 35% from the floor. You have only 4 offensive rebounds. You've turned the ball over 6 times to the Bulls 4, and Sam Cassell has played only 3 minutes and has done nothing. Kukoc gets walloped here. Gatling picks up the foul, and let's go back and see how it happened. Caught him right around the neck. Toni shakes it off.
In a display of sportsmanship by Chris Gatling, he walked over and said, Toni, I didn't mean anything by that. So that's why you got to talk on those back screens. You're out there playing the ball on the perimeter, and someone steps up and back screens you. If you don't get talked to, you're going to get smoked by that back pick. And Isaiah, you've had that happen a lot with big guys coming up the floor and screening you, your big man not talking. You can get laid out pretty easily like that.
Yeah, you tell the big man, scream and scream loud. Back pick, back pick.
Kukoc, who had missed his last 3 in succession, rattles that one in. And he makes them both. The Nets are over the limit at this point in the quarter. The Bulls have just 1 team foul. Chicago by 9. And a whistle away from the ball. So let's go back to the earlier question. Should Calipari be heartened by this, or does it merely portend a difficult remainder of the game?
Well, I think he has to be thrilled that he's only down 9, but I think right now, with about 4 minutes to go, they're going to have to really strap it on because the Bulls love to finish quarters, and as Isaiah said, maybe put you away here before the half is over. So they got to start making some shots. If they get some wide open shots, they just can't put the ball in the basket.
Kendall Gill couldn't do it. He's got it back now. On the drive, he flips it up, no good. And it's Kukoc with the rebound.
See, Chicago is such an experienced team. They play well enough just to beat you. They don't waste any energy. And you'll think that you're right in the game, and before you know it, they'll have a 2-3 minute spurt that knocks you right out.
Jordan with Gill on it. Goes to work. Fade away. Is short just before the shot clock sounds. And Gatling has it for New Jersey.
The Bulls are doing a really good job jamming the rebounders so New Jersey can run.
Kerry Kittles pulls up and misses. Pippen back. Finds Kerr all alone. And that's what usually happens. The lead back to double figures. Williams from Douglas juggled it, but stays with it, but it spills out. 3-on-1 break. Kukoc, wrapped up by Kittles. Boy, Toni's had a tough last few minutes. Knocked to the floor first by Gatling and now Kittles.
And it's going to be a flagrant foul, so they're going to get 2 shots and the ball. You don't expect Kerry Kittles, Isaiah, to take a flagrant foul, but he did not play the ball.
It wasn't a very smart foul. It was a smart foul. It was a smart thing to foul, but you don't want to get a flagrant foul right here because now he gets 2 in the ball. And this is the spurt that we were referring to, where Chicago now is going to try to knock you out. And before you know it, this thing can balloon to 20, and you go in thinking that you've played a good first half, and you look up at the scoreboard, and before you know it, you're down 20 points.
See, New Jersey's one of the most potent offensive teams in the NBA, but Chicago just totally shut them down because they've gotten second shots, and they've jammed the rebounder. So New Jersey is getting no fast break opportunities at all. It's become a half-court game, and they're shooting miserably. So everything that Chicago has wanted to do, they've scripted it perfectly. New Jersey's going to have to find some answers.
Kittles out, Cassell in. They'll play Cassell and Douglas at the same time, and as Calipari says, our starting point guard, Cassell, is really a shooting guard as well, so we can play them both and be just fine. Coach stumbling and losing it. Here comes Douglas. Cassell on his right. Cassell is hobbling. Cassell is laboring out there. He was limping on that break down the floor.
He has a hard time running. When you have a groin injury, it's very difficult for you to put one foot in front of the other and try to run. It's hard for you to extend, so therefore you put a lot of pressure on your back, and I wouldn't be surprised at some point in this game if his back starts bothering him.
He's grimacing as he comes back the other way. You have to wonder how many more minutes he can give John Calipari tonight. And Gatling hammers him.
Sam Cassell is going out once again. It's very frustrating for him, and I'm sure John Calipari does not want to put him in a position to fail. I guess he's hoping for maybe a ray of sunshine that Cassell can make a couple shots and energize his team. But right now, Bob, they can't find anything that's working at all offensively against the Chicago Bulls.
The only point guard in the league who scores more points per game than Sam Cassell is the Sonics' Gary Payton. And without him in the lineup, they give up so much firepower.
When you look at New Jersey's offensive thrust, it's at their guard positions and the perimeter players, and that plays right into the hands of Chicago's defense of Scottie, Pippen, Ron Harper, and Michael Jordan.
Well, the other day they had a poll of the players. They voted the top 5 defensive players in the game. They voted Michael Jordan as a 2 guard, Scottie Pippen as a 3, Rodman as the power forward. So got 3 of the top 5 defensive players in the game.
Here's Gatling driving on Simpkins. Throws up the hook, no good. Williams on the offensive glass, and he'll come to the line.
Now, with Jayson Williams playing with that broken thumb, every time he gets it underneath, Chicago is not going to let him have an easy putback. Dickie Simpkins took a whack at that thumb to make sure that he doesn't get an easy three-point play.
He missed the last 11 games of the regular season with that injury. Back for the playoffs, 21 rebounds in game 1. What a big year he had. Remember, he's just behind Rodman in rebounds per game, but Dennis only scores 4 or 5 points a game, while Williams gives you 13 or 14. Chicago by a dozen. Jordan against Harris. Got it. Those were Michael's first points in the second quarter. He has 12 for the game. New Jersey is able to answer with the Williams follow again on the offensive glass.
He's a relentless worker. He keeps moving. He never stands. And again, you got to try to get your body on him. But it makes it hard because he never stands still long enough for you to do that.
Jordan again. And he's fouled. Lucius Harris picked up his second running at Michael. This is the last basket.
Now, Jordan sees that the baseline is clear. He doesn't trust his jump shot because of his finger, and he wants to get to the basket. Every chance and every opportunity he has, he wants to get to the basket to convert.
Well, what happened on that time, too, they iced that thing down to the baseline, and Lucius Harris was expecting Chris Gatling, when he made him spin, to be right there on top of him. Gatling did not get down there quickly enough to give him any help. When Michaels goes baseline, you got to run in there behind him and try to pin him in down there.
You know, we talked earlier about Jordan having the bum index finger, but the smart veteran players, they won't let you know that they're injured. Normal guys would put a wrap on their finger so everybody would feel sorry for him, but Jordan understanding that he doesn't want anybody to feel sorry for him because they'll try to hit that thing.
Lucius Harris way off with the three. Simpkins with the rebound. Harper underneath to Burrell. Ron Harper is such an unsung player on this team. He's a very good defender. He could score easily 15, 16 points a game for another team. He's just under 10 this year, which is his highest ever as a Bull, but he knows his role so well.
That was great patience by Ron Harper on the fast break. He held the ball for a second and froze the defender and was able to throw it right to Scottie for the layup. Tough drive by Sherman Douglas.
But New Jersey is down 14. Jordan can't hit it. Williams chasing after the loose ball, but it's out of bounds to the Bulls. Williams is a real leader on this Nets team. They take their cues from him.
Bob, they need to really take some of his energy right now. This New Jersey team appears to be very flat, Isaiah. There's no life to them, almost a little dispirited. Like, I think they expected more out of their game today, and Chicago is sort of taking their heart away from them. They got to get something to get excited about before they go into halftime.
We talked earlier about how Chicago would try to come out early and take the life out of New Jersey, and I think they've been very successful at doing that this first half.
Game clock overlapping the shot clock by just a few seconds. It's Jordan. He hits that one. He's just 5 of 13 from the floor in this first half. Under 50% for the year by a considerable amount. Douglas with a three, and that's the way the first half ends, with the Nets down by 16. Stay tuned now for the Prudential halftime report after these messages. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Bob Worman created Worman Rapid Retail as a faster and more transparent way to purchase your next vehicle online. Save both time and money when you use the Worman Rapid Retail Quick Buy tools available on every Bob Worman dealership website. Shop our entire inventory, then customize your payments in real time. Quickly get a finance pre-approval, discover your trade-in's value, or schedule a test drive. Do as much as you like before you visit us. Bob Worman wants your next vehicle purchase to be faster, easier, and more enjoyable. It's the future of car shopping.
It's never been easier to get auto insurance on the spot. Call our quick to stretch your dollars with Insure on the spot. Get your free auto insurance quote in just 2 minutes. And they insure everyone. Lowest rate, period. Payments as low as $49 a month. 773-202-5060. That's Insure on the spot. 773-202-5060. Or click on insureonthespot.com.
With the Bulls up by 16. Rodman fires a jumper that's short. Well, he gets it out of his system early, usually, in each half.
See, I think New Jersey, Bob, has got to push that ball. They've got to try to get something easy. Every time down the floor, they're working against the half-court defense of the Bulls, and they're going to be in for a long night. They won't score 80 points.
Kendall Gill thinking about it against Pippen. Now driving on him for the jumper that rolls around and drops. If, in fact, they come up short of 80 points, consider it in perspective. They're the highest scoring team in the Eastern Conference at 99 points a game. There are 4 teams led by the Lakers out west who average better than 100. The Western style is generally more open, more of a running style. No team in the East averages in triple digits. That's just shy of it at 99.
I think New Jersey's the kind of team that their offense triggers their defense, whereas the Bulls' defense triggers their offense. So when your offense is not going like New Jersey, you're not getting the defensive stops necessary.
Here's Kittles into the lane to the left hand, and he's coming to the line. Let's quickly check in with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. John Calipari told his team, made it very simple, said they weren't talking enough on defense and certainly not aggressive. I asked about Sam Cassell, whether or not he may come in the game. He may return to the game because they're looking for a spark of some kind. Maybe he can provide that. Phil Jackson told his team that they're playing hard, they're doing a good job on defense, very concerned about the free throw shooting, and he wants them to try to put this game away right now. Bob?
Thanks, Ahmad. In the first minute and 15 seconds of the third quarter, the Nets take a 16-point deficit down to 11. Jordan putting it on the floor against Kendall Gill. Into the lane for Kukoc. A dozen for Toni, and the assist to Michael. Looking across the way to the New Jersey bench, Sam Cassell is not there.
See, without Cassell, he supplies so much of their offense. He's their second leading scorer, and he creates opportunities for others.
Gill missed, and Kukoc clears it.
You know, Van Horn's not at 100%. Cassell's not at 100%. And that's their two leading scorers. They supplied them with 19 points tonight.
Michael overshot it. Kittles takes it away from Rodman. At the other end, he's double-teamed and fouled. Pippen and Kukoc had him surrounded. It's Scottie who picks up his third. Well, New Jersey overcame a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter in game one to send the game to overtime. Here they trail by 16 at the half, 13 now. Kittles into the paint. Pippen for the rebound. Harper. Scottie.
That's just beautiful basketball. Five-man fast break. Everybody filled their lanes. You had two on the wings, two trailers. Just beautiful, picture-perfect fast break basketball.
22nd timeout asked for by New Jersey. If they were making a modest move, Chicago has answered pretty quickly.
As Pippen drives down the lane, everyone has everybody sealed from the Chicago side. Toni has his man sealed. Toni drives through, Kukoc drives through it, and Pippen has a wide open lane for an easy dunk.
So you see all the hustle stats tonight are going to Chicago. The other night, New Jersey had some of those hustle stats. They were able to out-rebound the Bulls by 14. They were the aggressors in getting some steals, some turnovers. Today, the Bulls have turned all that around. And again, Bob, I think the poor shooting start that New Jersey got in this game, they had such great expectations as we see Sam Cassell on the bike. I think it really dispirited them when they just couldn't put the ball in the basket to start this game.
Kukoc takes Douglas on the switch. And it's out of bounds to Chicago as the Nets turn it over. Fouled as he makes his move off the Kukoc pass. The sound system here is trying to get the crowd into it. But the fact is that comparatively, this is a flat United Center crowd. Jayson Williams, who played so well in game one when the Nets almost pulled off the upset, said after the game, look, we're not some club fighter just providing the champion with a tune-up before a title bout. We're here to try to play and win. But the fact remains that the Bulls in their championship run have never lost a single game in the first round. They're 15-0, now 16-0 in first-round games. Pippen out of the corner.
It's a great ball movement there. I think you've got to make Ron Harper make that shot. They had New Jersey in full rotation. A guy left Scottie Pippen. You got to make Ron Harper take that shot. He has not taken only one shot in the game and has not scored and has back spasms. You don't want to let him make the extra pass to Pippen for the open look.
Douglas with Harper all over him. Kendall Gill muscles it up and in. And the fact remains as well, when you look at it from New Jersey's perspective, there have been 28 first-round series between the 8th seed and the 1 seed under this format. And the 1 seed is 27-1 in those series. Scottie, another three. In and out this time, but Rodman gives them a fresh 24. And Harper will try it. And it's there. Harper says, come on, let's hear it.
When you look at Ron Harper, you know, he is the weakest shooter on their team. However, Doug, he's a great scorer, and he has a scorer's mentality. And when challenged, he will put the ball in a hole for Chicago.
Douglas, wide open, and cuts it to 17. foul. Foul is on Kendall Gill, his third.
You get a chance here now. Watch on the rotation of the ball. Here's Scottie Pippen over here, right here, and watch what happens now as they get into the rotation. His man leaves here and right there to Scottie Pippen, the open shot. I still think you have to make Harper make that shot, even though he did come back and make the next one.
Pippen made the first. Kukoc goes out. Birthday boy Bill Wennington, 35 today, checks back in. The veteran from St. John's.
You can document this run back to 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Chicago came out with the type of energy and intensity trying to knock New Jersey out of the game. They went in at halftime, made the adjustments, and continued the run.
Another New Jersey turnover. Pippen lets it roll out. He thinks the Nets touched it last, and he's right.
You can see the Bulls' philosophy. When Ronnie Cycli comes in the game, they are not going to let him post up and get some baskets. They are immediately going to the double team. And again, he does not like to be double teamed. Turned the ball over that time with a bad pass.
Pippen off the bullet pass, or Jordan rather, off the bullet pass from Rodman, but this time the Bulls lose it.
See, what has happened here is Chicago is scoring a lot of points on transition, fast breaks, easy baskets, and they're making New Jersey play 5-on-5. New Jersey is not scoring in an open court. They got to get some easy baskets in the transition.
Gatling working with the fadeaway. Cycling, but before he can get a shot away, a whistle blows, and a New Jersey foul on the rebound. Cycling picks it up. Calipari's expression says it all.
Everything in our garage is inspired by our racing spirit, including the Honda Civic Sedan. Discover the Honda Civic Sedan of your dreams.
For over 60 years, Aurelio's Pizza has served you and your family with quality, quantity, and value. And during these difficult times, Aurelio's wishes all that are affected to stay healthy and well. We are all in this together. Aurelio's top priority is to keep you and our employees safe. All 40 Aurelio's locations are open for business, and you can order online or call for carryout and delivery. Select locations are offering uncooked and frozen pizzas. So order with confidence from Aurelio's. Visit Aurelio'sPizza.com for the location nearest you. Thank you.
One of the strengths of the Chicago Bulls has been their offensive rebounding. Today it's been the real difference in the game. New Jersey, one of the poor defensive rebounding teams, and Chicago has capitalized. Although they only shot 43% in the first half, 14 second chance points. A real focus for them today was to win the battle of the boards after being embarrassed by 14 in game one. They have rectified that situation today, and you can see what the numbers say in game two.
And in recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. With a 19-point lead in the ball, the Bulls go back to work. It's Jordan into the lane. 3 blue shirts surround him, and Michael will come to the line. It's 3 on Kittles.
Again, Jordan wants to attack the basket, wants to get to the foul line. He sees the lane and drives right to the basket, and Kittles comes over the top for the hack.
Michael, a 78% free throw shooter for the year. Misses it long. The only time an 8 seed has beaten a number 1 seed under this format for the whole series was in 1994 when Denver shocked Seattle. Other than that, 27-1. And the Nets' best chance to make this one interesting may have slipped away from them when they lost in overtime on Friday night. Chicago by 20. Douglas from Cycling. Gatling. Has it. Gatling in a big game one with 24 points. Relatively quiet tonight. In fact, Gatling has only 4 points. Jordan from Rodman.
That's beautiful basketball. When you have a team down on their heels and they're coming out, pressing, you want to spread the floor, get good ball movement. Beautiful.
Michael with 19. Douglas on a foray to the basket, and he was fouled.
When you watch the Chicago Bulls, they are so beautiful without the ball. The give and go, they have excellent passers. Michael with the strong finish after the pass from Dennis Rodman. You see Kendall Gill turn and look for the ball. Michael cuts against his vision. You got to keep your body on Michael Jordan. You know that he's going to work against your vision. He's the best in the game at doing that because his entire career he's seen double and triple teams. And in order to get the ball back, he's got to find a way to get open.
Chicago's lead is still 20 as Douglas missed the first. Now he hits the second. New Jersey knocks it away.
See John Calipari desperately trying to get his team up to pressure. Get up, let's pressure the Bulls. They're getting into their offense so easily. It's such a flow for them right now. In game one, they disrupted their timing a little bit. Today, they have not been able to do that.
Jordan on the drive. And again, a whistle sounds. Giving us a chance to tell you that next weekend, the NBA playoffs continue on NBC starting Saturday with showtime at 3 Eastern. Then it's either a do-or-die Game 5 or a second-round Game 1 at 3:30 Eastern Time. Then on Sunday, coverage begins at noon Eastern with showtime. There'll be a triple header following that. So 4 more NBA playoff games Saturday and Sunday of next week on NBC. Michael made the first, giving him 20 and now 21. Which is Chicago's lead, 21 points. Cycling. Locked away by Rodman. Douglas follows, though, and the little guy hits in the lane. Michael in traffic. Touched last by Rodman as it goes out.
See, when you're playing against Chicago and you extend pressure, that plays right into the triple post, the strength of the triple post. They spread you out. They're able to cut, make sharp cuts to the basket, pass the ball well. It's very difficult to press the Chicago Bulls in the triple post.
Douglas doing what he can to keep the nets in it. Rodman's pass hit the backside of the backboard, and the ball will belong to New Jersey.
I think Phil Jackson thought that one of the New Jersey players was underneath Rodman's foot and sort of bumped him as he tried to throw that ball in. Let's see if one of the players, actually it was Michael Jordan. You see Sherm Douglas is laying on the floor, but actually Michael bumped into Rodman as he tried to throw the ball inbounds.
On Douglas. He takes it into the lane around Weddington. No basket. Douglas trying to assert himself in the last several minutes. I told you about next week on NBC. There's another game still to come tonight on TNT. It's game 2 of the Minnesota-Seattle series out west with the Sonics leading the Wolves 1-0.
Now we have to remember Chicago had a nice lead, about 14 points in the third quarter the other night, and they allowed New Jersey back into the game. They cannot lose the aggressiveness that's given them this 17-point lead.
The foul was on Weddington, his 4th. Douglas yet again doesn't get the bounce, and Rodman is there to clear it. That's his 12th rebound of the night. Jordan to the hoop. Count the basket.
See, they spread you out. When you go up to pressure them, it plays right into their strength. The defense is extended out wide. It opens up the lane. Jordan goes and penetrates right down the middle of the lane, draws the foul, gets to the basket, finishes for the possible 3-point play.
See, Isaiah, one of the great things of Michael Jordan, you could list so many of them. People do not realize how powerful this man is to be able to take that kind of contact and then be able to finish the shot. A lot of players get the contact, but they do not have the wherewithal or the strength or the concentration to get greedy and finish off the three-point play. Michael is the king of that.
Foul was on Gatling, his fourth, and as you mentioned earlier, Zeke, with the jump shot not falling these days, he is consciously taking it to the hoop much more often than he usually does at this stage of his career.
So you love that about Michael Jordan. You love his skill and you love his fundamentals, but what I admire the most about him is his offensive mind. He's very creative when it comes to scoring.
Kittles guns a three and unintentionally banks it home just as the shot clock sounds. And now the Bulls give it back to New Jersey. Douglas running the floor to Kittles. Again off the glass, this time as he intended.
This is when New Jersey is at their best. Forcing some turnovers. They forced almost 19 on the season, and then getting out and running. We have seen very little of that today because they have not been able to force any turnovers.
Back to within 15. They trailed by 21 a moment ago. Harper. Short with the three. Here comes Kendall Gill. Douglas is ahead of the pack. Harper got there to bother the shot, but Cycli hustling all the way cleans up the mess. And they're within 13.
Again, New Jersey must score in transition. They can't afford to come down and set it up and play 5-on-5 against Chicago's defense. In the playoffs, the key to winning basketball games is scoring in transition because the defense knows all your plays and understands everything that you're going to run.
A steal, and it's Kendall Gill. One more try. Blocking it away from behind is Harper. And New Jersey will have it. But still, the Nets are making a move here. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Calling all doers. The ones who roll up their sleeves and get things done. Where others see obstacles, you draw inspiration. When others settle for the status quo, you advocate for change.
Hello, friends, it's Colleen, and welcome to St. Xavier.
If purpose and passion drive you, join us. Together, we'll forge the path to a brighter tomorrow.
Chicago is known for rallying around its sports teams.
But now it's time to rally for each other.
As we face one of the biggest opponents of our lifetime.
No, we face it together.
As teammates.
As teammates.
As teammates.
The immediate future
may be unknown.
But one thing we do know,
the games will return home.
And we will be together again.
But for now,
be safe, be positive,
and be Chicago.
Be Chicago. Be Chicago. Be Chicago. Be Chicago.
Be Chicago.
Chicago. The Bulls led by 21. It's now down to 13. The Nets at present are on a 7-0 run, and they'll have the ball out of bounds.
You can see what's happened as New Jersey is starting to shoot the ball better. They're getting excited about playing defense. They forced some turnovers. Excellent set play. The lob to Kerry Kittles. And quietly, we have an 11-point game. Remember now, in game one, the Bulls led by 10 at the end of 3. And New Jersey forced an overtime.
So they run the play perfectly off the timeout. Kittles now has 16, a 9-0 New Jersey run. They want Rodman to take that. Williams came out and got a piece of it. They can get it to single digits. Jayson Williams in a crowd. Rodman blocked it, jump ball. Here's the lob that worked a moment ago.
Well, it's a set play. They normally down screen. This time they reversed. And Kerry Kittles with the athletic over the head dunk. And Sherm Douglas maybe throws that alley-oop better than any guard in the NBA right now.
Kerry Kittles, the second-year man from Villanova, who played so poorly in Game 1, has come back and acquitted himself well tonight. Kittles not only shot 3 for 17, it was he who had the ball stolen from him in the last minute of overtime by Jordan with the score tied that turned the game Chicago's way. Wennington is open, and Wennington connects.
Happy birthday, Bill. He's 35 today. He told me that reverse dunk was his birthday dunk. I said, don't overextend yourself, Bill. You're 35.
That would mean he only does it once a year if it's his birthday dunk. Kittles, not his birthday, but he's got 18.
See, Kittles is really getting into the game now. He's getting more aggressive. You can see his confidence starting to soar as he's playing against Michael.
Chicago's lead is 11. Burrell can't increase it. Stay right here. A loose ball foul on the Nets. Much to Calipari's disgust.
Jayson Williams had a hold of Dennis Rodman short, so it'll be a two-shot foul for Dennis Rodman.
And the second on Williams. Later on Dateline, the subject is Jerry Springer. That follows the game. In-depth discussion of Springer's contribution to the national dialogue. Rodman makes 1 of 2. Last minute of the third. Douglas trying to work on Kerr, who stays with him. Cycling spinning on Rodman. And just fighting his way to a hoop. Rodman contends that he had him tied up and a jump ball should have been called.
But Rodman is really a beefed-up small forward trying to guard a center inside. And Cycling that time showed that he had more strength and power than he did.
The Nets are within 10, but a whistle at the other end for a New Jersey foul.
See, Rodman, when he first came into this league, he was a small forward, and he has a hard time playing against the bigger centers in this league. And that time, Cycling just overpowered him.
You can see Ronnie Cycling does not want to pass that ball. He's thinking score. He actually had 3 guys around him. Was very fortunate that he was able to pick up that loose ball. Actually got away with shuffling his feet.
That's what amazes me, though, Doug, about Dennis Rodman. When he first came into the league with the Detroit Pistons, he was a small forward. Then he put on about 15 pounds of muscle, and he moved to the power forward position. But when he plays against guys like Karl Malone, the bigger power forwards in the league, he struggles. And then when you try to move him over to the center position, he just gives up too much weight. He has the heart of a champion and courage, however, but when you give it up that much weight, it's hard for you to battle down there.
Wennington makes 1 of 2 after Kendall Gill's 4th foul. The Bulls' lead is 11.
No one's guarding Jayson Williams right now.
Lucius Harris takes it to the baseline and then throws it away. Didn't have much of an idea what he wanted to do with it. Chicago can get off the last shot, but Burrell loses it. New Jersey ends the quarter on a 17-7 run to make it a game again. Back after this from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
The problem with hanging on to the past is when you're always looking back, you can't see what's coming. Forward collision warning with emergency braking assist. Standard on Sportage, Telluride, Sorento SX, and Seltos SX. Part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs. At Kia, we're committed to care, so we're offering 120 days of deferred payments and 0% APR for up to 75 months.
Hi, I'm Dr. Emily Landon, an infectious diseases expert at the University of Chicago Medicine. Our collective social distancing efforts are working in the fight against COVID-19. I know we are all tired of being at home and in a hurry to get back to our normal lives, but it's crucial that we keep going. Continue washing your hands, keep 6 feet of distance, and stay home. Together, we can save lives and make thousands of differences.
Southside Legends are back on NBC Sports Chicago.
Put it on the board.
Relive wins from the 2005 season with White Sox Rewind. Every day at 4 on NBC Sports Chicago.
I'm Dallas Keuchel, and you're watching the only home for the White Sox, NBC Sports Chicago.
That Chicago lead grew to 14 in the fourth, but New Jersey came back and forced overtime. Here, they've whittled a 21-point deficit down to 11 after 3. And New Jersey has the ball as we begin the final 12 minutes of regulation. Douglas splits 2 defenders, misses the floater, but Cycli tips it in. Michael beginning the fourth on the bench.
See, one of the problems that Chicago has is that they've had so much success in the past that it's very difficult for them to sustain concentration. They have a very difficult time putting teams away.
Pippen. The rebound to Kittles. It's a 9-point game. Make it 7.
Do you see the difference in the energy level of Kerry Kittles since the start of this game? He's hit some shots that bounce, the aggressiveness, just the total confidence, and now we have a 7-point game. The Bulls are now going to be into a fight here if they're not careful.
Kukoc with a long one just inside the 3-point line.
That's a bad matchup, Cycli, on Toni Kukoc. Toni can either step away and shoot the jump shot, or he can beat him with the drive.
That takes it back to 9. Kittles. Now Douglas to the hoop. Boy, Sherman Douglas really coming on late in the third and now in the fourth.
But they're attacking the basket right now because they recognize out on the floor that Chicago really doesn't have shot blockers out on the floor, so they want to get to the basket and make layups.
Harris on Burrell, who gives it up to Kerr. 3 seconds to shoot. Kukoc with a 3 that's off. The rebound to Burrell. Kerr lets fly. It's there.
That's a dagger. You fought to within 7. Shot clock winding down against you. They take a bad shot. Offensive rebound. Steve Kerr with the 3, and they push it back to 10.
What's up, everybody? Donovan Mitchell here.
This is Victor Oladipo of the Indiana Pacers.
Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics.
What's up, everyone? It's Dame Lillard of the Portland Trail Blazers.
Just want to say thank you guys so much for your continued support, man. It means a lot to me.
During this time, we should all be looking out for one another.
Please wash your hands.
Avoid large crowds, and if you might be sick, to quarantine yourself.
Because these are tough times, but, we will get through them.
NBA fans, we miss you. Can't wait to play in front of you guys again. Peace and love.
People will always come and go in our lives, but we all know those few who never left, because they always leave you with so much more. The ones who make you stronger, build you up when you're broken down. The partners who've always had you covered. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we know what it means to be covered by someone you look up to. Even when you're sitting right beside you. To be covered by someone guiding you through more than just the routine. To be covered by that friend you consider the best because that's how they make you feel. At Blue Cross, we know what it means to be there, guiding you toward a healthier state of mind. Because the more we know as individuals, the healthier we all feel as a community. Through it all.
Showtime earlier today, we talked about Chicago's bench scoring. In Game 1, they were outscored 31-7. Phil Jackson was very concerned about it. He made a concerted effort to get his bench involved, and tonight they've given him 22 points thus far off the bench.
Keith Van Horn, who's played only 3 minutes in the second half, is back in now. This is the rookie with the ball. Pippen hawking it and knocking it away. Into the hands of Kerr. Pippen Swings it to Kerr. Bounces to Kukoc underneath.
The spacing on the floor. New Jersey is up pressing. They pass the ball around the horn and get an easy layup on dribble penetration.
Also, too, when you try to post the Bulls right now, like what Van Horn is, you might get one dribble, but you're not going to be able to bounce 2 or 3 times because they're going to have 2 or 3 guys in your lap. Scottie Pippen forces another turnover here. But Isaiah, they're so athletic and so rangy, they could dig back, get into your lap, maybe knock the ball away or get you to pick it up and still recover to the 3-point shooters.
What a big defensive play by Pippen. He managed to swipe it, and then, as he was tumbling out of bounds, tossed it behind his back off Sherman Douglas's body.
Look how long Scottie Pippen's arms are. He's about 6'11" when you take his arms into play. He's a 6'8" player, but terrific defender.
Kerr to Rodman. Now Kukoc with the 3 that's short. Rodman has it, though. Pippen to the foul line. Now Kukoc whips it underneath. Who can't finish it? And Kittles protects the loose ball.
Again, they have New Jersey so spread out. What New Jersey has to do right here is get the ball into Cycling and let him try to go one-on-one against Rodman in the post.
See, look where he's got him pushed off to. Now they're going to double team him. Look at a turnover.
The charge on Cycling with New Jersey's bench thinned out by Cassell's strained groin. He's been relatively ineffective tonight, and Van Horn still feeling the effects of strep throat and the virus. They may have expended more energy than they had in reserve just to whittle that 21-point lead down to 7, and they may not have much left in the tank.
And then, Bob, what happens is you give up an offensive rebound, and Steve Kerr throws that dagger in you to put you back up 10. All the while, Michael Jordan is resting. He now comes back in, so he's fresh with 8 minutes to go now to make this little finishing push for his team.
No matter how this one turns out, Calipari deserves a lot of credit. He brings a team in that is viewed as just 3 and out, no chance, maybe not even a tune-up for the Bulls, not even able to make them work very hard. Takes them to overtime in game 1 and doesn't quit down 21 tonight. Kukoc from the head of the key.
It's target practice for Chicago right now. When you look out on the floor, they're really playing with 4 guards and a small forward, which creates all types of mismatches for the New Jersey Nets.
Now watch here with Van Horn. The minute he starts to put it on the floor, he's going to get help. He's forced into a bad shot.
The air ball is grabbed by Gill. He can't hit it. Cycling still battling. Jordan knocked it away from him. And the foul is on Michaels.
New Jersey is a team that through the season plays a lot of one-on-one. Even though they're a very high-scoring team, they're a team that doesn't get a lot of assists. They only average 20 assists in the game, which is 23rd in the league. So what they do is they play a lot of one-on-one. Against Chicago, that really plays into their hands, but you can't change the style of play that got you here. This is what has made them successful.
First foul on Michael tonight. Nice pass from Douglas to Van Horn. And another whistle. Van Horn will be shooting when we come back. Kukoc the guilty party. This is the NBA on NBC.
Quiet house. Dead of night. Old movie on the TV. Back door open to the patio. Side table with a couple of empty beers and a phone buzzing the 2 a.m. alarm. Veteran Grill. Just opened, revealing the sweet, glorious brisket. With only 10 hours to go. This is Shiner Country.
We were made here. Like anyone who calls Chicago home, we're proud of that. Just like you, we root for this city. We respect what makes it unique. And we're actively working to create something that only gets better. When you're from Chicago, your word means something. You follow through, you keep your promises. At Wintrust, we've taken our place at Chicago's bank because this is home. We're built here, for here. Can your bank say the same?
When we first opened our doors, it didn't take us long to realize.
We weren't in the car business.
At Lexus, we were in the people business.
We needed to be helpful.
Respectful.
and compassionate.
To treat people like guests.
It's what we all signed up for.
And now when people need this most, we will do what we've always done.
Take care of people first.
The rest will follow.
You hear about Michael Jordan sometimes being tough on teammates. Listen to this.
You can't lose sight of the ball. You run around like this with your head back to the ball.
See, Isaiah, I love that. I think that when a player, your leader, your great player does that, that's leadership. When a coach does that, players get tired of hearing him, and then it becomes more criticism. Your great players, yourself on championship teams, the Michael Jordans, the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, these are the things they do that relieve a lot of the pressure so the players don't hear the coach's voice too often.
But what I see happening here right now, Doug, is Chicago right now is already playing for Game 3. What they're trying to do is destroy New Jersey's confidence because they know the Nets are going back home and they know they're going to have a tough game in New Jersey. And right now they're trying to destroy their confidence and don't concede anything defensively or offensively.
Jordan working on Gill. Tries to get rid of it in the lane. Rodman kicks it, and Douglas recovers it. We have a Sam Cassell sighting. He's on the bench, ready just in case the Nets get close enough to make it worthwhile to use him. That won't help. Coach Kerr, 8 on the 24. Contact away from the ball. Offensive foul on Jordan.
See, Michael got caught there with the second blow. Sherman Douglas actually pushed him when he was screening for, you see it right here, he's setting a screen for Steve Kerr, and he pushes into Michael, and Michael says, nah, I'm not going to take that from you. Nice little flop there by Sherman Douglas as well.
Exactly 6 minutes to play. Van Horn fakes, shoots, and it's short. Hard to believe he's not still feeling the effects of the illness of the last 72 hours. This is a very atypical Van Horn night.
Yeah, people are not getting to see the real Keith Van Horn, the one that played so well during the regular season.
With the floater, it doesn't drop. Kittles has it. Bucket. And a foul on the Chicago Bulls here, which is met with disbelief by Phil Jackson. Now, after the game tonight, it's Dateline at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. No, that's wrong. Forget about the times. It's just whenever the game is over. Jerry Springer on Dateline. I understand in honor of his presence, there'll be a wild chair-throwing fight between Stone Phillips and Jane Pauley. You won't want to miss it. But Springer gets to tell his side of the story, then that's followed by Merlin. TV Guide says it's a spectacular delight. That would be Merlin. That's after Dateline, which is after the basketball tonight. And Kittles misses at the line. Looking for his 21st point. And he brings his team back to within 11.
That was interesting, the technique Michael Jordan just used underneath to try to block out Jayson Williams. He didn't even turn his back to him. He totally face guarded him and tried to get him out of the lane.
Here is Rodman. And Michael is fouled.
Now watch Michael Jordan as he tried to block out Jayson Williams. He'll turn his whole body towards him because Jayson Williams is such a good rebounder. Look at the fight. Those two are really going at it.
Well, that's what you have to do with a great offensive rebounder. What you have to do is you say, you know what, he's not going to get the ball, so one of my teammates is going to have to come up with this miss. And again, that's Michael Jordan doing what he has to do for his team. He's the man on the inside there blocking out Jayson Williams, who's their premier rebounder.
Michael has them both. And the trend continues. He's just 7 of 17 from the floor, but 12 of 13 at the line. 5 minutes left in the game. Chicago by 13. Kittles. That's what you call getting lucky. And now a steal by Gill off the inbound. And suddenly they're back to within 9.
This is what Isaiah was talking about. The Bulls getting a little bit of a lead. Getting a little careless because sometimes they get disinterested. They get bored knowing they can come up with a big play. And a quick 4 points by New Jersey.
Kukoc recovers his own miss. Out of bounds to New Jersey. Just when you're about to write them off, they come back.
John Calipari has to be really proud of this team, Bob. They continue to fight as they're playing uphill. It's a really good team.
Douglas collides with Rodman. And the offensive foul is called.
Now watch Rodman make sure he jumps right in front of Douglas, gets above the dotted line, and takes the charge. Calipari said, we didn't need that right now. We needed a good shot. He thought Dennis moved in. I thought Rodman was there for the charge.
At the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, we have evolved the way that we practice in order to provide you with the best access to orthopedic care. IBJI remains open and prepared to serve the orthopedic needs of our community with immediate care locations and newly enhanced telemedicine visits. Rest assured, we are here and ready if you need us, so you can move better and live better.
Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. As part of your community, we're here to help you during these challenging times.
Keeping your Toyota safe and reliable is important, especially right now. Many of our service centers are open. Schedule service online and drop off and pick up your vehicle with no contact. Need to replace your old vehicle? Most Toyota dealers offer online shopping and will defer your first payment for 90 days.
We're here for you. Contact your local Toyota dealer to see how they can help. Toyota.
Thanks, Frederica. 4 minutes, 16 seconds remaining. The Nets have refused to go away, but Chicago's lead is at 9. Pippen in the front court. Chicago once led by as many as 21. Here's Kerr missing the 3, but it's Rodman on the glass. Rebounds now for Dennis. Jordan through the lane and off the net.
Again, the second shot, you get great initial defense. You're within 9, you got a chance to rebound the ball, and Dennis Rodman with a great hustle play. He has answered the bell today for Chicago. He apologized to Phil Jackson after game 1. He said, Coach, I will be better, and today he has been tremendous.
Jayson Williams was so concerned about Dennis Rodman that he let Michael Jordan drive right down the lane.
Williams with the layup at the other end. And the Nets still trail by 9. Jordan has 28 points, just about matching his regular season average. Clock winding down toward 3 minutes to play. Pippen. Rebound battle is won by Kendall Gill. And New Jersey asked for timeout before the Bulls had a chance to tie Gill up. So we'll step aside for just a moment. 2:55 to play.
Chicago is known for rallying around its sports teams.
But now it's time to rally for each other.
As we face one of the biggest opponents of our lifetime.
No, we face it together.
As teammates.
As teammates.
As teammates.
The immediate future
may be unknown.
But one thing we do know,
the games will return home.
And we will be together again.
But for now,
be safe, be positive,
and be Chicago.
Be Chicago.
Be Chicago.
be Chicago, be Chicago,
be Chicago.
Just inside 3 minutes to play. And New Jersey at least making Chicago work. Following the net timeout, they look to cut it to 7 or maybe 6 if they hit a 3. Jayson Williams had it knocked away. Here comes Michael. Pippen on his right. And they'll set it back up with Kukoc.
See, the Bulls came out of that timeout. New Jersey tried to run a play that they like to get a three-point shot for Van Horn. The Bulls scouts had the play scouted and completely ran them off the play.
Hooked into the backcourt. Now they'll have to hurry. Kukoc flings it to beat the shot clock. It didn't hit the rim, so a 24-second violation.
See, Bob, the importance of scouting, especially in playoff situations, they love to run a little stack up high with Van Horn, curl a guy, pop him back for 3. The Bulls had it scouted. Jayson Williams ended up taking a tough shot, and they forced him out of the possession. That's what scouting does come playoff time, especially.
By that stomach virus. Van Horn, by the way, has hit only 3 of 11 from the field in this game. Pass was intended for Van Horn. And a Pippen foul. That's his 4th. Inside 2 minutes now, as Douglas drives baseline through a crowd. Now it's Kendall Gill with the jumper. Would have been a 2 if it had fallen. The rebound to Kukoc, and that may just about close it out. Keep in mind, no matter what happens, even if they're swept, New Jersey improved its record by 17 games this year. Rodman misses. They won only 26 a year ago. They won 43 this year. This has been, ever since the merger between the ABA and the NBA, it's Douglas in the lane with the bucket, a star-crossed franchise. They were a championship team in the latter stages of the ABA. Right after the merger, more than 20 years ago, they sold Dr. J. They've never been the same since. They've never really been a contender since. They've had trouble establishing an identity in New Jersey. There are some hopeful signs now. They have some good personnel on this team, and they've improved in terms of wins and losses significantly this year. And at least they've been competitive in these first 2 games. Michael takes it to 30 on the night. New Jersey asked for time, trailing by 9. Back after this from your local station.
I'm attorney Howard Aiken with Lori Markkinen.
Are you on the DL due to an injury at work or the result of an accident?
Let me break down the steps that you should be taking to get the compensation that you deserve.
Call 312-6000000.
Injury law made personal, that's Aiken Law.
Today, every business is digital. From web design and development to lead generation. AmericanEagle.com delivers innovative website and digital solutions, driving growth for their clients. Their program for Werner Ladder integrated third-party software and system platforms, streamlining information flow. Need to increase productivity? Let's talk. AmericanEagle.com. Building your digital mindset.
Everyone is trying to do their part, especially now. And your Ford dealer is built to lend a hand. If your vehicle needs service, just call. Ford service centers are essential to your community and are still open. Find out about pickup and delivery options from participating Ford dealers. Plus, they've implemented enhanced cleaning measures for added peace of mind. After all, you have a lot to take care of. Let us do our part and help take care of you.
When objects in your mirror are actually much closer than they appear, get it to Gerber. Gerber Collision and Glass.
Bob Costas, Doug Collins, Isaiah Thomas, Ahmad Rashad tonight. Chicago about to put John Calipari's Nets in an 0-2 hole. Game 3 is Wednesday in New Jersey. The 4th game will be Friday, also in New Jersey, if it's necessary. Sherman Sherman Douglas with the floater, no good. Van Horn tried to tap it in and couldn't. Rodman battling for the rebound. And let's see what the decision is. It belongs to the Bulls.
Now, it's important for New Jersey to finish strong here. It's 43 seconds to go. They got another game back in New Jersey for Game 3. It's important for them to finish this last 43 seconds on some type of good note.
My mistake. You give it to New Jersey. And Jayson Williams slams off the inbound and then pushes Rodman.
He got teed up on that. Danny Crawford ruled there was a little bit too much contact after the play. Watch on the dunk, and then watch what he does. He pushes Dennis after the play. That's the technical foul. So Steve Kerr will shoot the tee, and then the Bulls will get the ball back with a new 24-second clock.
Prior to that, one official had indicated Chicago ball, that he was overruled. New Jersey got it back out of bounds for the Williams dunk, but then the technical, and Kerr is the natural choice to shoot it. Not this time.
Bob, just to what you were talking about, the New Jersey Nets this year, I think it was so critical for them to be able to make the playoffs this year after they had such a good season. It would have been very disheartening for this team to miss out on the playoffs the last game of the season. And this is going to give them a tremendous experience going into next year. If they can keep the team together, they should grow from this.
Phil Jackson takes Dennis Rodman out of the game, perhaps to avoid any further difficulties. You know, Rodman gets hit with a lot of technicals, but he also draws a lot from the opposition because he gets under their skin so much. He now takes his usual seat all the way at the end of the bench.
The Bulls also have their best free throw shooters and the best ball handlers in the game right now. They'll want to spread the floor and move it as much as they can.
Kukoc fouled almost immediately by Kendall Gill. 5 on Kendall. 37 seconds to play. Bulls 91, Nets 84. Making quick work of the Nets is a priority for the Bulls because they are a veteran team and they would like the rest. So even going to New Jersey and losing one is not something that they would consider not a problem. They'd like to get it over as quickly as possible.
The thing about Chicago is that they will play much harder on the road than they do at home. The basketball team that you're watching tonight play here at home will go to New Jersey and they'll play with twice as much intensity and twice as much energy. And New Jersey better be ready for that, or else they're going to find themselves down in a big hole at the start of the game come Game 3.
Scottie Pippen committed his 5th foul. With Sam Cassell sidelined for most of the game by a groin injury. Sherman Douglas, there's Sam I Am. Sherman Douglas has played 43 minutes, 15 points, 11 assists, 4 steals.
And another player who really bounced back today was Kerry Kittles after the 3 for 17 in Game 1 and being stripped by Michael late in the overtime. 9 for 14 today for 23 points. So Kerry Kittles really doing a good job today of bouncing back and putting that Game 1 nightmare behind him.
And they have to foul Michael right away. It's a 6-point game, which is as close as the Nets have been. How often has it happened in a best-of-5 series? Not that frequently, considering how many there have been. Most recently, 1994, the most shocking upset maybe in NBA playoff history, because Denver was the number 8 seed against the number 1 seed Seattle. The only time under this format that the 8 has defeated the 1 in the series.
Remember also, too, in 93 when the Phoenix Suns lost the 2 home games to the Los Angeles Lakers and had to go to L.A., win 2, and then came back and won that series, got to the NBA Finals, but almost got knocked out of that first round.
31 points for Jordan as he makes 1 of 2, and an immediate timeout for New Jersey. They trail it by 7, 26.2 on the clock. Talking about Rodman, who, relatively speaking, has been on his best behavior this year. He's only in the middle of the pack when we consider the league leaders in technical fouls. Karl Malone and Charles Barkley actually had the most. Rodman's contract was structured in such a way as to encourage him not to go too far off the reservation. All of these incentives, he had a base salary of $4.5 million, but he could just about double it by meeting certain incentives. He did lead the NBA in rebounds. He did play the 80 games. He missed only 2 during the regular season. He can earn an extra $1 million if he plays in every playoff game.
I love playing with Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is a guy that sometimes he'll leave home early in terms of his mind. He gets very bored, and you need to have something to give him incentive to play.
But Isaiah, I think he's also the kind of player that you have to have strong players on the team with him. You have to have a Michael Jordan, a Scottie Pippen, guys who've been through it before, because otherwise he could be a distraction for a fragile team. He fits perfectly with what this team is about, with their mental approach to basketball.
No question about it. You know, Dennis Rodman, the thing that, you know, when I talked to Jordan earlier this year, he said, you know, the one guy that he can really depend on night in and night out is Rodman, because he knows that for the 48 minutes that he's out on the court, he's going to give his all, whether they're winning or losing.
Isaiah, just to follow up that graphic on Rodman, I have gotten Bob Costas' contract, and we will have a graphic on his incentives if he's able to go through the playoffs this year without any suspension. So
might have flirted with one tonight. The Bulls by 7. New Jersey has the ball. Stranger things have happened is the way the cliche goes, but offhand I can't recall any much stranger than this would have to be for New Jersey to pull it off. Van Horn spins around Kukoc and cuts it to 5. Didn't waste much time doing it either.
When the playoffs, you play every minute, every second, because as you said, strange things happen.
Well, Reggie Miller in that playoff game a few years ago at Madison Square Garden against the Knicks hit the 3, then stole the inbound, backed up behind the line, hit another 3, then was fouled, scored 8 points in something like 6 or 7 seconds.
I remember a regular season game when Rodney Rogers was playing for Denver against Utah. I think he scored 9 points, hit 3 threes in about 8 seconds. So it will happen, you know, not very often, but just enough as a coach that you will always remember it.
Doing most of his damage, as he did in game 1, from the free throw line. But he misses the second one. So they trail by 6, looking for a 3. It's Douglas who hits it.
Look out.
Just under 16 seconds left. New Jersey with the backcourt pressure, and they go to Pippen for the foul. Pippen missed 6 free throws in game 1, as did Jordan for that matter.
See, this is a good finish for New Jersey, because now if they do lose this basketball game, they'll go back for game 3 and feel very confident about themselves.
You know, Scottie Pippen gave the New Jersey Nets a great compliment after game 1. He said, you know what, they've played harder against us than any team all season long. And Scottie steps up and makes the big free throw. But he gave him a terrific compliment the other day with how hard this team has competed against them, especially on Friday night.
The lead is 4. And now 5. New Jersey has to hurry. It's Kittles forcing a 3 and missing it. Out of bounds off Chicago. Pippen touched it last. 7.5 seconds left. Quick inbound to Douglas, knocked away from him by Jordan, and that used up 2.5 seconds. Look at Douglas and Jordan jawing at each other. Sherman tries it again. This one's way off. It falls into the arms of Scottie Pippen, who's fouled with 0.8 of a second to go. And Chicago is going to take the 2 games at home, but it turns out to have been much more difficult for them than they and their fans would have anticipated. In fact, Michael Jordan said before Game 1 that it would require all the Bulls falling asleep for New Jersey to win even a single game in this series. Well, they haven't won one yet, but they've been in both of them right to the end.
See, Chicago right now, they don't care if the game is close. The only thing they're concentrating on and concerned about is if they win or lose. They've had so much success in this league that they don't measure close anymore. They measure if they win or lose.
Michael allowing himself a smile. He was really going at it with Douglas when he knocked the ball away from him a moment ago. Pippen misses them both. Horn sounds, and that's it. For those of you in the Mountain and Pacific time zones, we'll go to local programming. For those of you in the Eastern and Central time zones, we'll take you directly to